Yeah.
Crackle, crackle. I'm a campfire. Crackle, crackle.
Throw another log on the fire.
Oh, sound effect.
Sound effect. We're high tech. So yeah, I'm gonna kick us off.
Yeah, Melly goes first this week.
I'm going first. So
I'm taking a sippy of your beer, bear.
Oh yes, no, please, everybody, let's take a sip of the beer.
It's really dark. I'm not excited about it.
I know. What did I say? You're gonna hate it.
Oh, it smells like chocolate.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
It smells. You know, honestly, what it smells like? It smells like a mixture of coffee liqueur and Tootsie Roll.
That's what
I'm
it
not
should have
mad
been
about.
called.
far
I'm
off.
not mad about either one of those
Okay.
things.
All right, first sip in. There it is, you guys. Beautiful.
That's pretty good.
So, the story I will tell.
Yay, story time.
Story time is the tale of La Llorona,
La Llorona.
the weeping woman.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, this is a good one. I do know this one, and I'm excited about it. I'm also excited that the girl who speaks Spanish is doing it, and you're not going to, I don't have to do it later.
La Llorona.
La Llorona.
She's a Mujer. She lives in La Mexico.
Or Nueva Mexico.
Wave of Mexico.
Yeah. So, the legend of La Llorona, it goes back centuries, if you can believe it. I've read some stuff that it goes back to the conquistador time. Cortez, when he conquered, found Mexico. Visited.
Yeah.
Pillaged the Mexicans.
Jobs for everyone.
Jobs for everyone. The Aztecs in the 1500s. So, a version of this tale goes back at least 500 years, which,
Okay.
I mean, that's some staying power.
Well, and back to the Aztecs, because Aztec is more like central Mexico, yes? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So she's an Aztec woman? Is that
So, well, one of the versions or one of the things that I read was it is an Aztec woman who was trying to warn the people that Hernan Cortez was going to kill them all and he was going to take over. Beautiful.
Sorry.
Burpees. That he was going to take over and none of her people would listen to her. So she died and then spent the rest of her days roaming and wailing, crying. And the symbol there is not like, somebody died or anything, but it was like the death of her people.
Oh, so
and that's where that kind of thing started. So as time went on, it evolved. It became more, it's a different type of tale, but it still involves a woman. And instead of crying about her people, she's crying about her children.
Yeah, that's the one that I am familiar with.
Yes. So that is the story I will tell. Now, what I think is awesome too about the story is there are so many variations on the story depending on where you come from. So southwestern United States and Mexico, they tend to have about a very similar version of the story, but then it goes down into Central America and you have Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, all these, Nicaragua, they all have their own variation of the exact same story, which I think is pretty damn cool.
That's cool. It's sort of like how most old cultures have a flood myth.
Yeah.
Like some sort of Bible-y flood myth.
Exactly.
So she is basically the Mexican boogie lady.
Yeah.
Like a boogeyman, but a boogie lady.
One thing I saw, they referred to her kind of like a Slender Man.
Oh.
And I'm like, yes, that's very much what it is because it's like Slender Man will come get you.
And she makes 12-year-olds kill other 12-year-olds.
She could kill a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
She does not
But she makes
inspire
them
other
do it
12-year-olds.
in Espanol.
Oh, sí. So,
And a 12-year-old. Dropping mad Spanish bombs. I literally in my head had to go 11, 12, 13, 12 is 12.
Doce.
Nailed it.
got it.
Handled.
So, yes. So, U.S. and Mexico, we're going to kind of focus on that story, that legend. And I want to let you all know that I am disrobing.
Yeah.
As the story goes
turned
on.
off
I'm fucking hot.
Well, we turned off the fan.
And I closed the front door window.
It is 80 degrees because it's Los Angeles in January.
That's right. And
It
I
stopped raining and now it's 1,000 degrees again.
Yeah. So if you hear random zippers, it's me taking off my pants. You're welcome.
Get ready, guys. The beer starts flowing and pants aren't coming off.
That's right. Isn't that how it always works?
Pretty much.
So the story of La Llorona begins with a woman named Maria. Maria is a beautiful girl from a poor village.
Okay.
She finds a very handsome, wealthy farmer, and he, they get married. He lavishes her with gifts. She gives him 2 sons.
Oh, Maria, this is not going to end well for you.
No, it's not. So everything's working out fine. And then a couple years into the marriage, after she has her 2 kids, things start going south. Now, there's a couple variations into what exactly happens. And then, like I said, there's even a couple variations of like how this whole story begins. Because some of it is like she's a beautiful woman who marries a wealthy rancher and has 2 kids by him. There's other ones saying that she has 2 kids from her first marriage and she likes to go out dancing and she's trying to find a, rich husband and leaves her kids at home alone.
Oh.
So she's kind of like, the story's very, either she's a really nice woman and trying to be a good
So
mom,
either, like,
or she's a harlot.
Yeah, she's little like Susie Homemaker,
Yeah.
or she's like the worst mom ever.
Exactly. So, it depends again on where you're from and who tells the story. But I like...
Depends on what lesson you're trying to teach your children.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
If you have children, hey, teen moms, if you have children as a teenager...
And
You go out there when you have kids and you're dancing all night long. Llorona.
You're gonna be a
You're
weeping
gonna
woman.
be one Llorona.
You're gonna be one Llorona. Bye, Sharona. So... After a couple years, things stop going so well for Maria and her happy, happy life. Her husband...
I did not like him from Go. Just put that out there.
I mean, he was really probably after her for her beauty when she probably started getting a little haggard.
oh no, poor
He was
Maria.
like, gotta go. So what happens is he would leave for months at a time. And whenever he would return,
he would have herpes.
Well, I mean, yeah. But he's like, it's from the cows on my ranch. It's not from...
It's cow herpes.
It's cow herpes. It's not from, Flora down the street. No,
not Flora.
It's cow herpes.
It's not Flora herpes. It's cow herpes.
It's cow herpes. So he would come back and lavish the boys with gifts and ignore the shit out of Maria. Like, oh, hey, boys, love you. What about mom? What? Who? Mom? What? So one day, because he would leave for months at a time, one day the family was taking a walk and they happened, and the road...
As you do.
As you do. And they were walking on a road that led, that was next to a river. And as they were walking along this road, they see a carriage coming by. Mom gets all excited. Dad, oh my God, he's coming home. Oh, but Dad wasn't alone. No, Dad.
Flora from down the street.
He had wealthy ass Flora from down the street. And she
I bet
sees
she
him.
was young and pretty.
Oh yeah, she was young and pretty, and she was wealthy, so she was more in his class. So
I thought
he
the story was going to go that the carriage coming down the road and he's got the cow with him.
He's just fucking a cow in a
just
carriage.
fucking the cow. He goes, you know what? I like this cow pussy better than you.
Yeah.
So
La Bacaria.
yes,
Isn't it vaca?
the vaca. That's cow in Spanish.
Hey, man, I know some Spanish too.
I was like, it's V, right?
Yes,
V.
with a
I was
V.
hearing it with a B, but it's V.
Yes,
Vaca.
because
It's
they're
pronounced with a
pronounced
V.
it's the same way.
It's like Vanessa.
It's Vanessa,
Yes.
but in Spanish with a proper Spanish accent, it's vaca.
Yeah, you'd be
Oh.
Vanessa.
You'd be
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Vanessa, I am made of bones.
You are. Did you know? Underneath all of your flesh,
I am
there's
so
a bunch of
full
bones.
bones. I'm sorry for the offensive Spanish accent. I'm just going to apologize
I
right off the top
started
of
it.
that.
It's my fault. You
is all your
followed me down the
fault.
rabbit hole, and it's my fault. Don't forget. Send your angry emails to bob.fuckyou.com.
So he stops upon the family to say hi to his boys. Hi, boys, love you.
And
I'll
he
see
just
you home.
ignores
And he
poor puppy
just
Maria.
ignores Maria. Maria's at this point has had enough.
Yeah.
She's like, I fuck this, and she snaps. And she now again, it depends on the story. Either the boys. If she was like a harlot who liked to go out and party, either her boys wandered off and died, or the story that I like,
Oh my God, did she murder them?
she murders them.
Oh my God, so much child murder on this podcast.
So Maria, in just a fit of rage, grabs her 2 boys and chucks them in the river.
Damn.
Just like that.
I bet when Papa was like giving them gifts, he wish he like bought them water wings or swimming lessons.
A tube, something, swimming. And be like, you
And
fucking kids, you live along a river. How do you not know how to swim?
Yeah, I'm
You got them pet rocks, which they had in their
In their pockets, and it
which
just
weighed
helped
them
them
down
to sink.
the bottom of the river.
So she chucks them in the river, and as soon as they disappear, she immediately hit with regret.
Yeah.
And now, again, couple
like,
variations
"Oh,
on the story.
fuck."
She's like, fuck. And either she jumps in after them and drowns,
Okay.
or
Jumps in after them like people throw themselves on top of coffins, or jumps in after them like I'm gonna fucking Wonder Woman save these kids.
I'm going to try to find them and save them, because
Okay.
they had already disappeared, and she realizes, fuck, what have I done? So she jumps in to go after them to try to find them and ends up drowning herself.
Okay.
Or the other version of the story, too, and both of them can be equally creepy, is she, instead of jumping in after her kids, she just every day goes back to the river and just paces back and forth, crying and wailing, hence the weeping woman, crying and wailing for her kids. Where are my kids? Donde están mis hijos? All up and down the river until she wastes away into nothing and dies on the edge of the riverbank. Now, the residents of the little town where she lives just buries her right there on the spot of the river.
Okay.
Like, hey.
By her kids. Okay.
Yeah. So they put her in the white gown, in like the white funeral gown, and bury her where she was. And pretty much shortly thereafter, people start, the experiences start happening. They start hearing a wailing, a weep, and they see a woman in white with a veil over her face wandering back and forth and wailing and crying, asking where her kids are. So
there's a lot of parents murdering children who then maybe regret it on this podcast.
100%. And the reason that La Llorona is damned to walk the earth forever is she goes to heaven, and God goes, where the fuck are your kids?
Oh, yeah.
And she goes,
She's like, funny story.
She's like, really funny story.
She's like, they're in the car. They're right behind me. I'm just going to go inside and get a table for us, and they're going to come
like,
real
look,
quick.
I threw them in the river and they drowned. I know what you're thinking, but let me tell you why.
Let me break it down.
Fucking Billy would not shut up about these goddamn Power Ranger toys and how I did not buy them for him for Christmas. I defy you to find someone who wouldn't have thrown that fucker in the river.
That's right. Where are they? I don't know. Hell, did you ever think about it? Maybe they were dickhole children, and that's why they're not here waiting with me.
You know where they are, God? Down river.
Yeah.
That's where they are.
But they haven't, exactly, haven't made it up here yet. They might never find their way. I don't fucking care anymore. Let me in.
They're
and
just
God's
swimming their way up.
He's like,
wait, so Maria, who, like, sweet baby Maria, who I'm trying to make her into a better person, tries to lie to, like, Saint Peter at the gates and be like, nah, dude, babies are coming.
No, she says, I don't know.
Yes, you do, bitch. You threw them in the river.
So realizing and knowing, because, they're all knowing up there, if that's what you believe. He's all knowing, and he asks her 3 times, what happened? Where are the boys? She each time says, I don't know. So he goes, well, I'm going to damn you to walk earth forever until you find your sons. So she is now in that realm of she is not going to hell, but she's not going to heaven. She is damned to earth to wander around looking for them fucking kids.
Ghosts, not great swimmers.
Not great swimmers. And that is when, so once her soul was damned to roam earth, that is when people were like, there's some weird shit happening.
There's some weird fucking bitch just walking around crying.
Exactly.
Talking about her river boys.
So that's the story. Now, overall, in Hispanic culture, the story serves as a cautionary tale.
To not throw your children in a river?
No.
The parents, a tale for that?
This is awesome. Parents tell their kids that to get them to behave.
Oh, to be like, if you don't stop fucking talking about this Power Ranger story, I'm going to throw you in a goddamn river?
No, La Llorona's going to come, and she's going to snatch you, and she's going to throw you in the river.
Oh, because she has a history of throwing people in rivers.
She's got a history, because what happens, the story goes, is that she's looking for her sons. So she will
come up
any
little kid
and be like, "Are you my kid?"
And
look around, be like, "You're not my kid," and chuck him in the river.
Okay.
So she's looking for the boys.
So is this a myth that only works for children who live by a river?
No, that's the best part. It's all through Spanish culture. It doesn't have to be in a river. People will have it in the middle of the desert. People will have it in the middle of anywhere. It's one of those stories
like specific to whatever your landscape is.
Yeah. Really, it is. And it's one of those where it's like, they're going to snatch you. And it doesn't matter, if they throw you in the river or not. It's going to be, they're going to kidnap you and kill you. And one of the other things is if you see La Llorona on a night where there is no moon, you are cursed to die in a week.
Oh.
1 week to live.
Oh, God. It's like a whole Samara ring kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you do not want to see that bitch when there is no moon.
Do we know why with the moon and the...
No. I didn't look.
Oh, no, that's cool.
There's probably some information about it.
I guarantee you there's information.
Is
there information that I looked up? No. Because I'm all like...
We could back our way into this. The moon is stereotypically a female symbol in mythology.
There it is.
Correct.
And when it is black, that means the moon is dead.
Yeah.
And as you will be in a week.
And it's like rebirth. Like, there is no moon, meaning that there is no you and you're dead. Yeah, good. I feel like we did that. Yeah.
Done.
So that is now part of the canon of that story.
5 out of 5 would not read story again.
What? What? No. So yeah, the parents, it's just a,
Gotcha. So she's like the Mexican boogie lady.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, watch out. La Llorona's gonna get you. And it's Halloween Horror Nights actually at Universal in Hollywood. and in Orlando, I think, they have a maze for La Llorona. So, like, it's starting finally to break mainstream culture, because this is a story that's been, it's 500 years old, and we white people haven't really heard of it much. If you don't live in the southwestern United States, you're like, I've never heard of this shit. So, but it's starting slowly to, like, make its way into mainstream culture, and Slender Man is probably the closest thing where it's like, maybe they stole that.
Yeah. I grew up in Southern California. I had a lot of friends of Latino and Latina heritage. And so I was familiar with this story. But the version that I feel like I knew as a child was that this old woman would, if you were being bad, would come and find you and eat you. So it had like a Hansel and Gretel twist to it. I don't know if that's something that's like developed over time or was like specific to where I grew up.
It might be specific to the area, because it's like, well, they're not going to throw you in the river because
rivers.
There's no rivers in Long Beach.
No, there's a Los Angeles River, but it's a flood control channel,
and
it's
throw you into a concrete basin.
Yeah, I know.
That will hurt. You know what? That would suck a lot more than being drowned in a river.
We'll throw you in the goddamn ocean. We have a large mass of water.
There's a big
throw you in the ocean
pool.
and hope for a riptide.
And just
it's not a great plan.
No, it's not smart. Not smart. So, but yeah, a lot of it's, it's all kind of depending on your family, depending on the area. But overall, that's the story, and it's meant to, like, don't fuck up kids.
Got you.
So
interesting that it's like I always find it interesting, like the Santa Claus myth is like the be good, someone's watching, or you won't get presents.
Right.
This is like,
listen to your
be
parents.
Bad. Or we'll eat you.
Yeah.
Like,
don't
it's a
go
way
out
to take, like Santa Claus, positive spin.
Yeah.
La Llorona, negative spin.
Don't go
negative reinforcement.
Don't go out after
Zero
dark.
presents.
She's going to kidnap you.
All the being thrown in rivers.
Dying. Like, eaten.
Or eaten, yeah.
Tossed into the river, just kidnapped. But it's like, listen to your parents. Don't fight with your parents. Don't go out after dark. It's brilliant. It's so brilliant to get them to behave, because it's like... And there was one of the stories that I read, like his dad and how they taught this kid the story of La Llorona was amazing, because it was like they would drive over a kind of scary bridge, and he would stop in the middle of it and be like, do you hear that? Do you hear a woman wailing? I think I hear a woman wailing. Oh my God, we're going to have to come. You better, and like would scare the little kid in the backseat, be like, oh my God, just drive over on the other side of the bridge.
That would totally be me as a parent.
Yeah.
I'd be like, shit yourself right now. That's how scared I want you to be.
Exactly. And then he's like, okay. And then it's like, then it's taught and be like, I'm just going to listen, because I don't want that fucking scary wailing woman to come kidnap me.
Yeah.
So it's just brilliant, and it's taught from day one, and it's just something that like lasts your whole lifetime. So whenever anything kind of remotely odd, creepy, weird happens,
they're just blame it on her.
You can just blame it on her. So I pulled a story. I'm going to read it, that I found online, which I thought was kind of creepy.
All right. Can you read it in a Hispanic accent?
Cries in the night. When I was 12 years old.
Oh my God, I love this so much.
My parents separated, and my mother moved me and my brother to Monterrey, Mexico. In the winter, all three of us would sleep in the same room because there was no central heating. Only electric heaters. There were 2 beds for my mother and brother.
Dos camas.
Dos camas. I slept on the floor in a sleeping bag.
Like a little bitch.
Like a little bitch next to my mother's bed. One night, around 2:30 in the morning, I woke up because I had been dreaming about my great-grandma. I all of a sudden, I'm like weird Eastern European.
Yeah. I was like, you are inching towards weird old Russian lady, but I was into it, man.
She kept calling my name. 3 times to be exact. Just a few minutes later, I heard the scariest screams coming from down the street.
Just a few minutes later.
Right. It was horrible.
Horrible.
Horrible. ¡Qué horror! The cries continued, each time coming closer. Ándale. I was so horrified that I could not even wake my mother, who was lying right next to me. I was so scared. Tengo tanto miedo. I could not even blink. It was the most evil cry I had ever heard. Finally, it passed my house and slowly faded away. The next day, I told my mother, you know, I didn't believe in stuff like this, especially not La Llorona. After that night, I do.
Oh, it would be great if they were like, and Billy down the street, he they found him that morning, dried up on the side of the river.
There was another story where they're like,
him.
oh.
His face was eaten off.
Well, there's one story where they blamed this little boy drowning on La Llorona because it was like, he was.
Well, that does feel very convenient.
It is. Well, there was like a weird creek or something next to the school, and there was a fence, and the idiot probably climbed over the fence and fell in and drowned, and they're like, oh my God, La Llorona did it. She fucking did it.
I feel like you could be a serial killer in Mexico and just drown children.
And then just
scream and go,
La Llorona. No one would ever solve the mystery. Like, oh, yeah, La Llorona, you guys. I don't know what you want me to do.
How do you catch a ghost?
You can't.
But
Put him in handcuffs. Good luck.
Oh my God.
But it's pretty crazy. In this case, cried 3 times, dreaming about the great grandmother who most likely told the story, taught the story to the family, and then you hear this horrible, horrible crying sound. And then eventually it passes the house. It's like, ooh,
interesting.
So when I was doing some research on this, not the most research as we clearly found out earlier, I came across this video and it's pretty fucking crazy. And I'm sure it could easily be debunked as like some bitch off camera just wailing, but it's crazy because it's.
Oh my God, are you about to play a La Llorona wail right now?
Yeah.
I'm like so almost having goosebumps right now.
It's awesome.
In anticipation of hearing this noise.
Dude, when I first heard it, I was like,
She was playing for me. It's horrifying.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Play it.
So yes, this guy records. Now it's at a gas station. That's what he's saying.
Oh my God,
it's at a gas station in Mexico. I'm gonna do this one moment while we do our thing.
So we're moving the microphone to be for the computer.
So you're going to hear a lot of car noises because obviously it's probably off like a freeway or some sort of road, but I'll turn it up a lot. Did you hear that, everybody? That was the sound of my Mac. All right, here we go.
That's creepy.
What the fuck is that? That's a coche.
That is a coche.
That's not a coche. But like, what the fuck is that?
Okay, I'm just gonna play skeptic right now.
Please do. I'm sure it's some bitch off to the side and be like, nah.
No, I'm just gonna. That's a super fucking creepy noise for sure. The like high pitched wail of it and how far away it is creepy as fuck. My cousin has a Shiba Inu, which is a little fluffy Akita kind of a dog. And when he gets really upset, he yodels. And when he gets really excited, he makes a noise very similar to that. Oh. So, like, if I've not seen this puppers in, like, a couple months, and then I come over, as I walk in the door, he'll be like, he's, like, so excited.
So, La Llorona is actually an excited or upset Shiba Inu. Have we just debunked it? Have we solved the mystery of La Llorona?
I was just like, it kind of sounds like a little, like, doggo, like, making a, like, whaley noise.
Very well could be. I found another one, which was, I'm not going to play it, but it's a dude, and he starts recording. He's laying in bed, and he's, like, sleeping in this weird fucking shack, because
like a tin roof shack.
It's like a tin roof shack, because he pans over to the door.
He makes excellent life choices.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you live in, like, a shed outside. And there's, like, you have the tin doors. And I
have a tin door, sure.
And it's just this wail, which is it's similar.
It sounds very similar.
To that. And it's just this wail, and you're like, what the fuck? And it just keeps going on. And I'm like, if that were me, nah, dog, I'm out.
And he keeps swearing at it, which is probably the best part of everything.
He's like, he keeps being like, fucking what? Like, this fucking wail, this fucking this. And I'm like, I'd be shitting myself being stop it!
But if he heard it all the time.
That's true.
I will say, if I was...
And she's eating the faces of 6-year-olds.
Yeah, I am with 2 people in a brightly lit apartment. As I walk back to my car tonight, parked the 4 miles away that I had to park, if I start to hear that noise... I would be fucking creeped out. I definitely would be. If I was in the middle of the desert by myself, it would be. It would definitely creep me out. It's a creepy noise.
It is very creepy.
It does. Like I said, sounds like a dog because it sounds inhumane. It does not sound like a human.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like a chupacabra.
Oh, damn it. You just beat me to it. I was like, be a chupacabra. And then, of course, Bob, quick to the words. Me, I'm like really warm and like getting kind of tipsy.
What is it?
Excellent story.
So that
like
is the
good
story.
folklore. That is the kind of story you would tell around a campfire.
Exactly.
To scare children. Into not swimming in rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or sleeping.
Yeah.
Ever again.
Or thinking about grandma.
So that brings me to my brewski, which I left on the table.
Go get your. We're gonna do the getting beer song. Getting beer song. It's a song for getting beers. It's different every week because I never remember what it is.
Fine. I've returned. Hi, everybody.
Welcome back.
I have selected for our beer this week from High Water Brewing, Campfire Stout.
Oh,
yay!
That's so good.
And registered trademark Campfire Stout leaves you wanting s'more.
Oh,
what?
Now, why does it leave you wanting s'more, dear?
Stout brewed with graham crackers and molasses with natural flavor added. So they brew it to make it taste like a fucking s'more.
You know, it tastes absolutely nothing like a s'more.
You get a little bit of like
it has a chocolatiness to it.
Yeah, that's I think the molasses and the graham cracker. Like when you smell it, it definitely smells like a graham cracker.
If like when you're drinking, you're also
smells like graham
smelling.
crackers.
If you go like this, if you go.
I was like, do it with noise. He's making aggressive eye contact.
Yeah.
I was
really angry at you as I did that.
You were like mad dogging me while like snorting into a beer glass.
Snurfling beer sound.
Stop coming over to my fucking house.
So Bob is La Llorona.
So yes, notes of chocolate and graham cracker topped with a hint of marshmallow will leave you wanting s'more. Like any campfire experience, this beer is best shared with a warm circle of family and friends.
Aww.
It is 6.5% alcohol by volume.
Oh, damn.
Tastes like it.
Yeah, it does. And it is brewed in San Jose, California.
Oh.
So, yeah. And, okay, can we talk about the bottle?
Yeah,
it's got
a
a bear
bottle.
Roasting marshmallows.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that little body.
There's a bear roasting marshmallows.
He's got a stick. He's like sitting over the little fire. There's a waterfall in the background. It's
beautiful.
Would you call him El Lloroso?
Oh, that's good. The
weeping bear.
The weeping bear. Lloroso. Oso is bear.
Oso's bear.
And then llorar is to cry. So if you combine them.
I believe
I'm
you.
killing it on this Spanish
you
over here, you guys.
Really.
Dude. It's brilliant. So yeah, and so when I selected this beer, I knew Vanessa was gonna hate it.
You know, I don't
because
hate
it is
it.
a
You
stout.
guys will make a stout drinker out of me yet. I feel like
good because apparently that's all I fucking grab are just stouts. I'm like, this will work great. It's a stout.
We have had a dark beer, at least one dark beer every episode thus far.
Yeah,
and I have not
all three
hated any of them. I have I will drink this entire glass.
This one feels very.
It also comes in a large format bottle, which is why they're like share it with friends.
Exactly,
because it only fucking thing. You'll be really goddamn full and drunk.
They do not make them. At least at the place where I bought them, they do not have them in six packs.
You can only drink this if you have friends.
Yep.
Yeah,
or alcoholism.
Yes. And you want to pretend you have friends? This is the beer to drink.
You drink 4 of these, you'll think you have friends.
You will be talking to everybody. You'll be reliving every bad decision you ever made in your head.
Solid.
But you're going to be like fixing it. You know what you do? You're like, oh, I should have said this. And then you're going to replay it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to.
So this beer solves problems. That's what I'm hearing.
This is
a good beer. This is a solid offering. It was a good ghost story. It was a very like classic
folk
I like
tale.
that you went so broad because mine is super specific. So I like that you went so broad with the like I'm going to basically pick the boogeyman.
Yeah.
I'm basically going to do the boogeyman.
the Mexican boogeyman.
Yeah.
Well, it was that or the other option I had was to give you guys like fucking Corona. So
yeah.
I thought about it. I was like, well, it's a story. It's like, you know, Southwestern United States. It's Mexico. What do? I'm like, fucking Corona.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, she's going to hate it.
Yeah.
She's going to hate it. Bob's going to be so pissed to have Corona in her.
I like Corona.
It's all right.
And then I was like, do we do the lime? But then I have to give credit to melissamerrittfitness.com. She was like, because I was telling her, I was like, oh, we worked out this morning. She was like, oh, what are you doing? Your story. I was like, oh, I'm going to do, La Llorona. And she's like, Campfire Stout. Have you ever heard of it? And I'm like, oh, this is genius.
No, that's so good.
melissamerrittfitness.com.
Excellent job, Melissa.
She does.
I call her melissamerrittfitness.com every time we're at boot camp.
Her name is Melissa, just like mine. She is my trainer. So that's Melissa Merritt Fitness. But her name's Melissa. She's a very nice girl.
I like that you are then actually able to find it.
Yeah, I went to a specialty. I didn't find it, so I didn't go to the Bevmo. I went to the Vendome, local plug for Los Angeles listeners. Holy shit. Go to Vendome and buy your beer there because they're awesome and they have a lot of selection.
The Vendome by my house is a tiny beer selection and they're all covered in dust.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, the one up here is great.
Oh, yeah, and their guy's really very knowledgeable
It's at that
here.
tiny little corner.
Oh.
You're right. I was literally about to say the corner of where I live and where that Vendome is.
That is super specific.
It's on the corner of bleepity bleep and bleepity bleep, but it's like a small, it's like the size of a 7-Eleven, but it's a Vendome.
Wow.
So it's not that big.
Damn.
So their beer's not good. But I'm glad that your Vendome is good.
Yes.
Way to go, Vendome, on coming through with the specific Campfire Stout.
Campfire Stout. I'm like hyper specific today.
Yeah, it was really good. Solid offering.
Thank you.
It's rough. I came into today feeling really good about my story and really good about my beer offering. Now I'm doubting myself because
you practiced.
Here's a
really
good one.
You practiced your story. I mostly drunkenly tried to read my microscopic handwriting.
I will say, normally Melly and I don't see each other on the weekends until we see each other on Sunday for the podcast.
Right.
However, I threw myself a birthday party yesterday,
and it was awesome.
It was super fun. So a big group of us went to Angel City, had a shit ton of beers, and then told every single person who would listen to us about our podcast and all the beers that we drink.
Yep.
So we kept talking about what we were going to do this week, and Melly kept being like, "You're gonna hate my beer. You're gonna hate my beer," and I kept saying like, "She's gonna make me drink fucking like PBR or something,
or a stout." And you were right.
No, I was like, it's like PBR or it's like fucking O'Doul's week. Like this is what's happening.
No, I have to find a story one of these weeks where I can sneak in some fucking wine coolers.
Oh,
like,
it's gonna happen.
I want it so bad.
Bartles and James, man.
Yeah. See if we were more.
Maybe next week we'll do haunted colleges.
Oh, that's
and it'll just be like fucking Smirnoff Ice and Natty Light.
Yes. Milwaukee's
Bob
best.
is making such a face right now.
We're gonna relive our college days. It's gonna be amazing.
Next week, nobody wins.
Nobody. We all lose.
If somebody brings in Bud Ice, you will win.
They sell them in 40s at the in the
No,
Tall
they
Boys.
don't.
They sell them like
They sell Bud Ice.
I think so. Tall Boys at the Ralph's down the street. Yeah. So I'm gonna win.
This is happening.
This is gonna win.
Yeah, you have a really solid offering. So my beer takes preparation.
Yes, we're gonna prepare.
I also have to use the little ghost's room, so we're gonna hit pause and come right back.
Stay tuned.
Burp.
All right, perfect hand gesture. All right, so we're back. I had to prepare my beer. Because now it's my turn to tell my. So I did not do a classic something you would tell around a campfire. I did a place where you would go to sit around a campfire. Ooh. Because I took it very literally to say we're doing like forest campfire stories. So you
followed directions where I did not.
Directions I made up. So let's just be 100% honest about that. So I chose the most fucking haunted forest in the whole goddamn world.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
I am doing the story of Aokigahara, or Japan's suicide forest.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory.
I'm going to give you a little backstory.
Zero.
You were in a pretty deep hole because of what was brought by my wife.
Know.
But suicide forest,
it's elevated. You've elevated your game.
You've elevated.
Japanese suicide forest.
You're not
This is
just
significant.
Fucking samurai suicide forest.
Oh boy.
So I will say the people call it the Black Forest. People also call it my personal favorite, Japan's haunted forest of death.
That's awesome.
How is that not
Trademark,
amazing?
Wow.
Trademark
Japan's
TM.
haunted forest of death. Tell me absolutely fucking everything you know about it. That's
right.
So many hours on the internet.
Like, I figure you just say that and you know immediately what it is. It's like, this is
People
where I'm going to go and die.
People are like, it's the Japanese suicide forest. So the actual name of the forest is Aokigahara. It is a forest. It's like Japan's version of a national park.
Okay.
It's right outside of Mount Fuji. So it's like in the northwest flank of Mount Fuji. It's in a big, gorgeous, fertile valley that was created by, because I don't know if you know, Mount Fuji is a volcano. It's the tallest mountain in Japan. It's currently inactive. It hasn't erupted in like over 400 years.
That don't mean shit.
That don't mean nothing.
People actually,
geologically.
People scientists actually say it's probably going to erupt in the next 50 years or so.
Hell yeah, just like California's big one.
Because it's just sort of fucking brewing its way up. So yeah, it's a dormant volcano. So
can I just interrupt and say that it's brewing, kind of like my belly gut
all
bomb.
The bubbles.
All the
It's waiting to
bubbles.
burp.
So
It's
many.
waiting to burp. Just like I'm
let
doing
it out.
right now.
Just erupt those burps.
Sorry, interrupted. Continue.
So the forest was formed from all the previous eruptions, which created this rocky, but super, super nutrient rich soil. So it's basically rock. You can't dig into it. It's not dirt. It's these crazy big porous rocks where there's just like sort of chasms and caves, which you could twist your ankle in, you could fall into and die. The two
They're like,
big,
let's make this a national park.
Yeah, the two big things within the park, there's like an ice cave and a wind cave are like the two big places within Aokigahara that people go to visit.
I'm imagining a Disneyland.
Or they go to fucking murder themselves.
Oh, God.
So because of this, like,
Walk on the
incredible...
trails, see the trees, hang yourself.
So because of this...
Welcome to Aokigahara.
You could make a salesman video right now. So because of this incredibly nutrient-rich soil, it's so thick with trees and foliage, and the trees are all really skinny trees, and they can't burrow into the ground because it's so rocky, so the roots kind of like stick up out, so it has a sort of like middle earthiness to it. Like the tree's just gonna fucking get up and like walk over to you and just be like, hello, I'm a Japanese tree.
It's the Japanese Ents heading to the Ent moot.
Yeah.
Is that,
Gandalf.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Gandalf?
Yes, exactly.
Frodo.
They're gonna just fucking throw some people in Mordor.
I'm just naming it like.
But so,
Frodo.
and all of these trees, because they're so tall and skinny, it almost becomes like an optical illusion where it's very easy to lose your way. It's also crazy easy to lose your way because all of these, this rocky sort of, I don't want to say soil because it's legitimately rock. It's not dirt. It's made a lot of with a lot of magnetic iron. So because of all this crazy magnetism that's in it, there is absolutely no cell service. Your GPS will not work.
Oh, that's so
and the
rad.
fucking compass will not work.
No wonder people get lost.
Hell.
Yes. So
Yeah.
This is
if
where you know it's not suicide. You just die because you get lost.
So if
Death
you
forest, dead zone for your cell phone.
yeah,
Death
I'm
all
loving
the way
this
down.
already.
dead for your cell phone, dead for you.
Yeah.
Dead all the way down.
TM. So
We've trademarked so many things
Yeah,
this
I know.
episode.
Don't come after us, copyright lawyers.
Right.
So it's also because there's no dirt, there's nowhere to burrow. So it's just these trees that are like sort of covered in a green mossiness. So there's not a lot of wildlife. So people will spend hours hiking in the Aokigahara and never hear the rustle, never hear a bird chirp.
That's scary.
Also, the trees are so fucking dense that once you sort of get into the heart of the forest, most tourists don't travel further than a kilometer within the forest. The forest itself is about 12 to 14 miles square. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty big chunk of forest.
Dude.
But most people don't leave that like first kilometer.
No, because you're gonna end up fucking lost and dead.
Because if you do, it's so thick. The canopy of trees is so thick that even at noon, there's no fucking sunlight.
Oh my God.
And there's no wind. Because the trees are so thick, there's nowhere for the wind to go, so it just doesn't come in.
So if I can paraphrase, it's a spooky forest.
It's a spooky, yes. It's also fun fact. It's green year round because the soil is so new. So even though it like snows in Japan, it gets to be a really fucking cold place.
These trees do not give a shit.
It does not snow in there because the snow can't get through because of the fucking thick canopy.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
It's just always covered in this greeny moss.
Hell
So
yeah.
when
no
do we
matter
come and, like,
when you are
destroy it?
there, it always looks the same, and it is gorgeous. Like if you Google photos, and if you are, which I think you should, please Google Aokigahara, which is Aokigahara. Do not Google Japanese suicide forest because you will be met with lots of photos of dead bodies. Unless that's what you want, then cool.
Hey, man.
Like,
You know what? Jerk
follow your
off
bliss,
to whatever
you do
the hell
you.
you
Yeah,
want to
right.
do.
But if you do just Google photos of the Aokigahara itself, it is a gorgeous place that
To die.
Nowhere else in the world looks like this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, lots of people think it's a good place to die.
No, I can imagine because it's like so quiet. And you're just left with your own thoughts.
because-
I don't want to be left with my own thoughts.
Oh yeah, there's hikers who were just like, I started to feel like I was going crazy because the sound of my own breath started to echo back at me within the trees because it's so quiet. There's no rustly. There's no. Also, hikers also get this feeling that they are being watched or that they are being followed a lot of the time. So people will come out of the forest and say like, oh, I think something was like tracking me the whole time I was in there. Like there's a mountain lion or something. And the park
Samurai,
rangers will be
fucking
like,
ghosts.
there are no
People.
wildlife. So it was not it was not a living thing that was fucking following you or watching you. Oh, if you felt something watching you.
Yes.
Ghost of a samurai.
So the locals call it the Junkai, which means sea of trees, because it's basically just like once you're in it, it's just like you're in the middle of the ocean, and it's just water everywhere you see. You have no idea which way is out.
Jesus
Christ.
Creepers.
So it's so like I said, it's in the northwest corner of Mount Fiji. It's about 2 hours from Tokyo.
Mount Fiji.
Also, there's no direct train route, so you have to take like 3 trains from Tokyo to get there, or you have to rent a car and drive.
So you really gotta want to kill yourself.
So it's fucking rural. Like it's the middle of nowhere. And there's a like tiny village. It's sort of supported by the tourism of the Aokigahara outside of it, but it's really just it's a small village in Japan, a very rural village.
So when are we moving?
Right? So
I mean, shit's really bad right now. Let's go right now.
Right now.
As soon as we feel like killing ourselves, we'll move out.
And then we'll really feel like killing ourselves.
Yeah. So this is a place where lots of people in Japan go to kill themselves. And in Japan is one of the highest suicide rates of any like a developed nation, because in Japan they don't have the stigma that we have in other like more Western cultures, because they come from, like I made the joke about the samurai, they also had the like kamikaze pilots in World War II. Like they sort of have a history of it is better to kill yourself than to like be taken prisoner or to like punish your family or to be a burden on people. Like they had a practice where back in the early days of the country, especially in rural villages like where the Aokigahara is, when there wasn't enough food from the harvest, they would just take their old women and lead them out into the forest, like put a blindfold on them, turn them around 3 times real quick, and then run away, and just leave them to die of like exposure or hunger.
They do that
or
up
dysentery.
in the
or whatever.
Oregon
They
Trail.
cannot shoot a buffalo.
They do that in they do that in like the Eskimo like Inuit population. Like I've heard stories where they leave grandma out to be eaten by polar bears.
But and there's a couple cultures where grandma will just walk into the wilderness.
Okay.
But honestly, most of them are like, hey, grandma, let's go on a picnic. And grandma's like, I ain't going on no fucking picnic.
No, because you know what's going to happen.
Grandma doesn't want to go in the middle of the fucking suicide forest where there's no food or
like,
water.
My life is fine. I'm not that old.
And there's no sound, and there's no sun, and there's no wildlife.
She probably just killed herself
and the trees
every 30
create an
seconds.
optical illusion where you can't find your way out. Grandma doesn't want to go there, and they take her anyway.
And they say, fuck you, grandma.
Yeah, they say, fuck you.
Yo,
so
dead
suicide
now.
is really popular within the country of Japan.
We should make that popular
It's
here,
like-
too.
It's
Justin Bieber, and it's like the Beatles, and it's like
it's like vending machines full of panties.
Oh, that's right, I forgot about
Suicide, salty noodles.
Remember
Salty
we were like,
noodles.
yo, let's sell our
Pachinko.
underwear?
Yeah, last time we were at Angel City.
Yeah. Comes
Bringing
full circle.
it around.
It's full circle.
So the Aokigahara is the second most popular place in the entire world to kill yourself.
Wow.
Fun game. Let's guess the first most popular place in the world to kill yourself.
Seattle.
Hint. Right here in America.
I was going
Seattle.
to say Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate Bridge is
Damn it.
correct.
Thank you.
I was
I'll
like-
have a drink of this beer as a reward.
So
Cobain.
they stopped releasing official suicide numbers from the Aokigahara back in
sense.
the early aughts because they sort of wanted to move away from them.
Like these early aughts. I'm just kidding.
I got your aughts right here.
I got your aughts right here.
Because they wanted to move away from adding to the like legend of the Aokigahara as a place to go commit suicide. So the last time they released official numbers, so in 2002 they had 78 official suicides from that year, and in 2003 they had 105 official suicides from that year, and then they stopped releasing numbers. However,
Do they leave notes?
they do sometimes, but they do this thing every year, twice a year, once right after the holidays and once right after like March, April.
They shovel the bodies out.
Where it's they call it a body hunt, like an Easter egg hunt.
Oh, God.
Only for decrepit old bodies.
God, I was just joking with the shoveling
all
the bodies
like the park
thing.
rangers and a bunch of locals from the village go out in groups and try and find bodies, and they find like 105 dead bodies from that year. They also every year find bodies that they missed the year before. So they'll find a body that's 2 years old. They'll find a body that's 5 years old. They'll find just a head because
Do they have like their version of the Easter Bunny that they go out and they leave the bodies out there?
God, I hope so.
Easter egg hunt.
Easter egg
bunny
hunt,
the death bunny.
Death
yeah,
bunny.
we have the death bunny.
No.
Congratulations, children. Today we go into the forest.
Finish him.
It's like Mortal Kombat.
Suicide Bunny has left a number of bodies for you to find.
So many decapitated heads. So the most common people to kill themselves are businessmen who are in their 40s or 50s. That's why there's a huge flux of them in like March or April, which is the end of the Japanese fiscal year. So if they haven't had a great year, they feel like they're not going to be able to provide for their family. Just fucking go camping and don't come back.
I mean, I feel like killing myself every year at the end of fiscal. Not gonna lie.
So
just move to Japan and it's
just
okay.
Move to Japan and they will totally
do what you
let you.
gotta.
I mean, you can only do it once.
Maybe. Can a ghost kill themselves?
You could find out. Report back.
I'll report back.
Watch Beetlejuice.
That's death for the dead.
Don't say it 2 more times.
Yeah, Jesus, Bob.
So as you walk into the forest, there are these big signs, which sort of they're big wooden signs, like carved into the wood signs. The sort of thing where, like, if you were to walk into Yosemite, it'd be like, "Welcome to Yosemite. Our fire hazard today is high. Only you can prevent forest fires. I'm Smokey Bear." Like,
I like your Smokey Bear voice. I'm Smokey Bear.
I'm Smokey Bear. You're welcome for that, Smokey Bear. Smokey Bear was a real bear. Sorry, I sidetracked. I like forests.
You like bears.
So as
Just
you
a
walk,
forest fan.
I just am a fan of forests.
You're an arsonist.
Bears in forests. And arson in forests. So as you walk into the park, there are these big signs. They're written in Japanese that you would assume say something like this. They do not. What they say is, and I quote, "Your life is a precious gift from your parents. Please think about your parents, siblings, and children. Don't keep it to yourself. Talk about your troubles." And then there's a suicide prevention phone number.
That's way better than the shit in Pasadena.
Does not say, "Welcome to Aokigahara National Forest." It says,
"Don't
talk
kill
about
yourself.
your troubles. Here's a suicide line."
We know the only reason you're here is to kill yourself.
Your life
Don't
is
do
a
it.
precious gift from your parents.
God.
Yeah.
Creepers.
So the most popular way to kill yourself in this forest is by hanging.
Oh.
So apparently there are, like, they said there's 3 types of people who
Not
go into
samurai
the
sword, but
there. No, they said there are 3 types of people who go into the Aokigahara. There are people who are there committed to fucking kill themselves, and they walk in. They walk in 100 feet. They go 20 yards off the path. They fucking string up a rope and they hang themselves, and that's that.
Just do it at your house, man.
The second type of people bring camping supplies because maybe they're unsure. So they will hike further into the forest, maybe hike off of the trail a little bit, which you're not. There are so many signs that are like, don't fucking leave the trail because you will not find your way back to the trail. So sometimes people will like hike off of it and they'll camp for a couple days and sort of like try and figure out their problems and decide if they want to kill themselves. Sometimes they come back out. More often than not, they do not.
Well,
And the third type is apparently like yuppie white people who are there to actually camp and fucking hike.
And then they just
And
croak.
they just die because they're stupid.
No, they're just like literally there and have no idea that it has this legend as the suicide forest.
Fucking
and so
people.
these people will just be hiking and then they'll be like,
and then they get lost.
and they'll get lost, or 2, they'll just be hiking and then suddenly be like, there's a goddamn dead body here. And then they go screaming out of the forest. And then the park rangers are like, yep, okay, where is it? We'll go get it. Like,
This is what we do here.
this is it.
God, that is such a weird American. I can just imagine them all
Hey,
being Americans.
You heard about
too.
this incredible forest?
Yeah.
Be like, this is beautiful.
on out.
We're gonna do this. What the fuck?
So
Dead body?
because it's so hard to find your way out of the forest, people do this thing where they take like plastic tape with them and they tie it onto a tree on the end of the trail and they walk out into the forest and like leave it tied around trees as they go, like a little bit like Goldilocks and breadcrumbs back to the trail.
It's a good thing it's not breadcrumbs.
Only less delicious.
Oh
for
yeah,
birds.
only really fucking creepy and plastic, which lives forever. So sometimes hikers will just be walking and they'll be like, oh, there's a weird blue string. Let's follow it. What's at the end of it? Death. Death is what is at the end of that
It's
string.
always dead people who cannot find their way back.
Like the people who and there's a ton of media about this. Honestly, there's a bunch of great documentaries and TV shows. Vice did a 30-minute special on it back in like 2009 that is really, really good. It's 100% free on YouTube. It's in Japanese. It has subtitles.
Oh, thank Christ.
But one of the guys who like, this is his job. He's a geologist, but he kind of spends his whole life like pulling dead people out of the Aokigahara. And he was just
That's
like,
not
when
a
you
fun
find
job.
He was like, when you find a string and you follow it, there's always something at the end.
Oh, God.
So it may be like the remnants of a campsite. It may be a dead body. It may be a person who's still trying to decide, and they try and talk them into not killing themselves.
Hey,
So that's when you just give them the gun and go, just do it.
That's a big part of what park rangers do is a big part of what park rangers do is not preserving the like beauty natural landscape that only exists in this one place in the entire world. These park rangers' job is to talk fucking Japanese businessmen
out of killing themselves,
hanging themselves in the middle of this forest.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Jesus.
So there was a best-selling novel in Japan written in the 1960s called something in Japanese I'm not going to try and pronounce, but it roughly translates into Black Forest. And it is about these two lovers who just can't be together. Nothing fucking works out for them.
Romeo
And
and Juliet.
the book ends with them going to the Aokigahara and killing themselves together.
I do smell
together?
movie. You guys,
Yeah,
I
so-
do smell movie. Isn't that
So
Suicide Diaries?
There's a ton of fucking movies about the Aokigahara.
Damn.
Really?
But so
My money.
so this book was really popular in the 1960s, which they think is maybe shows what the uptick in the suicides were. There was also a book published in 1993 called The Complete Suicide Manual, which lists like a bunch of information about how to kill yourself, where to kill yourself, and it lists the Aokigahara as the number one, and I quote, perfect place to die. And it even has specific like maps about where the park rangers are less likely to find you, or they're likely to find you rather quickly, depending on what you want. And this book from the 1960s, this romance novel, and this suicide manual
terrible.
are often found with dead bodies in the fucking forest.
This is people are like watching instructional videos on how to kill themselves.
Yeah. And
That's
they're just
just
like, okay,
fucked,
so I go to
So
this
you've
weird
decided to
tree
kill yourself.
in the Aokigahara, and I take a hard left, and then at this other fucking tree that looks identical, I take another left, and now you're fucking
At this
lost no
point-
matter
And now
where
you
you
just
are.
kill yourself.
And now you hang yourself.
At this point, if you have a plastic string, affix it to the local tree.
Or don't,
Or
because you're
don't.
not coming out.
Yeah.
So like I said, twice a year they do this body hunt, where they pull all the dead bodies out of the forest
With the suicide bunny.
with the death bunny.
Death bunny.
And they pull all the bodies out and they store them in a building that was specifically built within this local village for holding the bodies of these dead people.
It's just a fucking giant,
It's
like-
just
They made a
fucking
dead body house?
I needed to,
furnace.
man. They needed.
This was a necessary structure.
Look, it was a tax write-off. Engineer Bob is
Engineer Bob laughed so hard.
He's so happy Japanese people are
He is
killing
so
themselves.
happy that they had to build a place to store dead bodies.
Yeah. Okay, but wait.
There's more.
So this village has this building where they store all the dead bodies, where they wait for people to come claim their loved ones, or they try and identify who these people are so that they can release them. However, Japanese is a culture that believes in ghosts. And it is apparently very, very bad luck to leave a dead body alone, because the ghost, or the urea, or
Urethra?
urethra. I think it's Y-U-R-E-I. It might be ure. The ure.
I'm going to go with urethra.
So, no, I'm not. It feels terribly.
No, the pronunciation in Japanese is very close to the Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to be asshole Melissa, I'm going to say
You're right.
yore.
Okay, so the ure.
Those are not
As
those are not the ghosts that jump though.
What?
This is a thing.
Okay. No, these are just normal ghosts. This is
Okay.
just the Japanese word for ghost.
Got it.
So the ure, so you can't leave a dead body alone, because the ghost will become really mad and really confused, and they'll start screaming.
Oh,
they'll
La Llorona.
start
Yeah.
going crazy, and eventually they compel their own dead body to get up and move into where there are alive people, because they don't want to be alone. So they say, we don't want to fuck with these crazy ghosts moving their bodies into like normal sleeping quarters. So all of these people who participate in the body hunt, every night they do a fucking rock, paper, scissors to see who has
Who's
to
gonna stay
sleep
with
in the
them?
room with the dead bodies.
Hell
Fuck
yes.
that. I'm so bad at that.
Until there are no more dead bodies. So for
It would
weeks
be
or
me.
months or however long it is,
I would be living with dead people
you're
for
fucking
months.
Rochambeauing for the like murder slumber party.
Look,
Okay,
If-
can I then now build a crematorium where I can just burn them and be like,
No,
"That's it,
because
we're
you're
not
gonna
supposed
piss
to do
off the
that."
Ure, you butthead.
Ure will get mad.
No,
Fuck.
but I guess if your choices are between pissing off evil ghosts and causing zombies, or taking a sleep with some dead people, you don't want to have an army of the undead attacking Tokyo,
Okay,
right?
so
I also
feel like-
don't want to sleep with dead fucking people.
So
Godzilla, they
we-
lived. Look.
Okay.
Godzilla came,
Right.
marched on the people of Tokyo.
Right.
Numerous numbers of movies. I've seen
We've
like
seen them.
a
You've seen
ton
them.
of them. They're fine. If a fucking ghost comes and scares and spooks a few people, that's fine.
No.
If that means I can have a nice full 8 hours of sleep, doing it.
What you're missing is this, my dear.
He's making Italian finger hands.
really
I'm
is.
going to do
He's
Italian
like
finger hands. What
fucking
you're missing
Godfathering
is
me.
the sequel to Godzilla.
Now there's
where
finger
all of
points.
the
Mecha
Yurei
Godzilla?
show up.
And they make
And
Mecha
yeah, it's like
Yurei.
these are all the people that got flattened by Godzilla, and now there's a zombie attack. Hasn't Tokyo been through enough?
No.
Okay, so what I have learned from this marital spat, which I have witnessed, is that when we decide to go hiking in the Aokigahara, we do not have to Rochambeau. Bob will sleep with the dead
Yeah, I'll
bodies.
sleep.
That's
Look,
what I've
I'm
learned.
I'm taking one for the
Melly
team.
and I are going to go to the spa. We're going to get a fucking snail mask.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to
Bob is
protect Japan from an army of the undead.
Japan.
You're welcome. Japan.
So, okay. What a tangent. Okay, so a lot of these people leave. So back to the Aokigahara itself as a forest. Before people started killing themselves there, it's always been sort of a sacred place or a haunted place because it looks creepy as fuck. There's no sound, there's no living things. It will confuse you. It will try and twist you around. There's weird holes in the ground you can fall into and die. Like,
Don't go.
It's always been a weird creepiness.
Don't go.
So the Japanese people have always thought that there are demons that live within the forest. And so the demons started calling to people who were troubled or having, and that's why people started coming there to kill themselves. And then that they do kill themselves because it's so hard to recover bodies from this forest because they are left alone, which ghosts do not like.
Nope.
Those
No.
ghosts just start running around screaming and being crazy people and causing more people to come in, like be drawn into the forest to kill themselves. And it's just a cycle of like, it's just like more and more ghosts in this space.
Being called in by demons.
But started by the demons.
Started
and
by
then,
the demons.
And then
the
being
demons are
called
like,
in,
this is rad, look what we did.
yeah, and then the ghosts calling in other people to make more ghosts, so they're not alone anymore. So they're calling people out into the forest so that they're not alone.
This is a
but
shit
then
show.
those people
This is a
die,
total
and then there's
shit
just more
show.
ghosts
Jesus
who are
Christ.
calling in more people.
But they're not alone, so stop fucking calling out to these people. You probably just get bored
I don't
with the friends
think
that you have.
zombies can be the friends of ghosts. I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Is it like Bloods
This
and
is
Crips?
horrifying.
Is this
Yes.
like Bloods and Crips? Is it
So,
like weird gangs?
Also, that's very California to me.
Yeah.
So also, a lot of people who kill themselves there, like a lot of them are businessmen who are like trying to save their family from financial ruin, things like that. But some of them are also just like fucking angry people who want to die. And so they will go and they will take curses and they will like leave a suicide note with a curse, or they will write a curse, nail it into a tree, and fucking kill themselves to seal the curse with their death.
Oh, that
so
is
it just
spiteful.
keeps getting more crazy haunted
Now,
and cursed and full of demons
Don't
and dead
be
people.
What kind of
dickhead.
curses will they actually like put on the piece of paper that they nail
Like
to the
there's
tree?
one like in the
They
Vice
cursed us
documentary
to
that
have
I
Donald Trump as our president.
like in the Vice documentary that I saw, there was they found a doll that it kind of looked like a Jack Skellington doll that was nailed upside down into a tree.
That's not
next
scary.
to a like placard written on wood nailed into a tree that basically said like, this world has nothing for me, so I want nothing for it. Like, I'm killing myself, and I like want nothing but death and destruction to come in my wake. Like,
Sold.
He did it.
Just
He did
fucking
it.
curse. Just generic, hate you all, peace out, curse.
And because he died,
He
it's going to
seals
happen
the
now.
curse, yeah. And now he is a fucking angry ghost walking around looking for alive people, and he's like made the curse of the forest itself better.
Well, thanks, jerk.
So
Jesus.
there's a couple. Obviously, this place super fucking creepy, all on its own. You're forgetting all the murder,
Yeah.
But you can't forget all this crazy fucking suicide and murder
No.
because it's happening. So now we get down to the ghosty stuff.
Tell
so
me.
there are lots
Tell
of
me.
stories of like
I'm
hikers.
touching
Bob
myself.
is raising
I'm so
his hand.
excited.
I'm
ready.
I'm ready
He's
for
ready.
this
He's
ghost
ready.
story
Bob's
to happen.
ready, and I'm like, I'm touching myself.
I'm really pumped.
Go.
So there are stories, multiple stories of hikers who do not know the history of the Aokigahara, who just go out hiking and they know it's really hard it's easy to get turned around. Compasses don't work. You use this plastic tape. It's what you do. So these very normal hikers do the plastic tape thing and they wander off into the wilderness and then they start to hike back and they get, I don't know, they hike out 3 miles and then they hike They're like, oh, beautiful, whatever, ice cave. They turn around, they start to walk back. They walk like a mile back. Their fucking plastic tape cut. And the park rangers within the Aokigahara never cut a plastic tape. They also never remove them on the off chance that whoever tied it is going to use it to get back because it's so hard to find the trail again. So they never remove these plastic tapes.
Right.
But there are multiple hikers who come out of the space and say, someone cut my fucking tape. Oh. So you got to also wonder how many people don't make it back who had their fucking tape cut because these angry ghosts just want more dead people to be in the forest.
And the hypothesis is these ghosts are coming in and cutting the fucking tape.
Yeah, or these demons.
Or demons.
Yeah. that is the hypothesis, yes. So it's
a dead man's party. Who can ask for more?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, bring it back around to last week.
That's right.
Points to Bob. Points to
good.
Bob.
Ding, ding.
So there's also, because like I said, ghosts within Japanese culture, you don't leave a dead body alone. So the ghost wants its dead body to be reunited with living people until it can be laid to rest. So while...
Yes!
Burpees.
That was
it's the ghost of the beer past. Both of them are silently laughing at me right now. That was a really solid joke, you guys. So while
do you feel that we did not properly appreciate your
joke?
Sorry.
Motherfuckers, that was funny.
I appreciate your burpee joke, Vanessa.
That feels much more appropriate.
Okay,
there you go.
Good.
So thank you. All of my pandering pays off in the end. So also while they're doing these body hunts, there will be stories of people who will just be walking, and they go out in groups and they go out on the plastic tapes because you don't just fucking wander off into this wood.
Don't
come back,
assholes.
No, they're trying to find these dead bodies. It's like a public service that they're doing. So there's stories of like the people who are there walking through, and they will suddenly hear a like blood curdling scream from a specific region of the forest, and they'll just be like, "What?" And they'll walk towards it. They'll like hear it again, and they'll follow the sound until they find a dead body that's sometimes like multiple years old. And it's the ghost of this dead person saying,
come get me.
I want out of this fucking forest.
You were supposed to come get me.
Get me out.
There are rules to this goddamn game.
Yeah, so sometimes hikers who are not looking for dead bodies will just be walking through in this quiet fucking no wind, no animals area and just hear a blood-curdling scream.
See, at that point,
it was not a ringtone. And there's no cell service.
That's when you just,
and I'm fucking outie.
And I'm
out.
Hell yeah.
I like to hike, not that much.
You don't walk toward the sound. You walk away and you go, fuck this.
Yeah.
And then you tell the nice ranger and be like,
and there's like, we heard a blood-curdling scream.
Yeah.
They're like, I know what to do.
And apparently the park rangers would just be like, yeah.
That's probably the
happens.
ghost. That's a thing out here.
So there's also, if you look through these images, if you Google like, haunted Japanese forest, there are so many hiker like photos and videos with like orbs with streaks of light. Like, and you know how I feel about orbs. I feel like
you're not an orb
they're
person.
Bullshit.
It's a fucking
no,
orb.
Orbs are bullshit.
Orbs are lots of time. Orbs are a particle of dust caught in the sunlight. Yeah. There's no fucking sunlight in the Aokigahara.
That's true.
That's true. So if you do see an orb,
canopy. So I'm just a little bit like, well, that is creepier. Mm-hmm. There's also a ton of videos and footage of what appears to be an elderly Japanese woman with white hair that's like pulled half up in an old white dress walking around. And she's not trying to talk to anyone. She's just fucking walking around looking creepy as fuck. And I think maybe she's one of those like, come on a picnic with us, grandma. She's like one of them.
100%.
She's trying to find her way out of the forest.
Oh, grandma. You know what? I hope one of her relatives like goes for a walk in the forest and finds grandma and then feels really, really bad.
Or just fucking trips or has their tape cut.
Yeah.
And lives there forever.
Grandma's cutting that tape. Yeah. That's what's up.
Where grandma can just be like, you fucking left me here. Now I'm going to scream in your face forever.
That's
done.
Just get left out.
Yeah.
But it's like a grandma screams. It's like,
Hey, listen here, assholes. You never come visit me anymore.
I never visit.
You never talk to me. I just sit at...
No, see, you know what? I'm going to stop talking because this is going to get really real. Because it's going to be like my grandma.
No, I'm almost done, guys. Yeah. So they also say that if you hike far enough into the forest, so like I said, most people don't leave outside of like a kilometer. They go about a kilometer in, and that's when it starts to be like, and you will literally, if you just start walking through, in this Vice documentary, they follow this guy for one day, and he comes across a dead body, a guy in a tent who he tries to convince not to kill himself, and like 2 separate sites of like people killed themselves here, and they probably have already removed the bodies and found them. Like it is littered in the first kilometer with all this remnants of death.
And so basically, he got the full experience. He got people who were going to do it, people that had just done it.
I mean,
and
people who had done it for a while.
This is his job.
Yeah.
He does this every single fucking day. The Vice cameras followed him for one day, and this is what they found.
God.
I do not want
so
that
if
job.
you move past that, if you move deeper into the forest, apparently if you leave the trail and you get up close enough to the trees and you look at the bark in the trees, you can see the faces of the people who are stuck in the forest.
Oh, fuck that.
And they say...
Are there photographs of this?
There are... how much
It's a little bit Jesus in the toast.
Or yes, it's it's a little bit like you took a weirwood tree from Game of Thrones and you removed the red. Like it's just
okay.
like... So I don't know, but there's also like there's a bunch of blogs about people who have hiked this or have gone looking for ghosts. It's like the most haunted place in Japan. It's like a super popular fucking thing to do. Go ghost hunting here. So people say, yeah, they're there, but you don't want to, because if you look them in the eyes, they'll see you and they'll come for you. So you kind of don't want to look for the faces in the trees.
You just look down. Just look down.
Because if you look at them, you don't want them looking back at you.
Oh.
No, fuck that.
It's like the Blink Angels in
Doctor Who?
No? Okay.
No,
Never mind. Move on. I never made the reference.
I'm
Continue
not
with your story.
that nerdy.
God damn it!
Wow.
Okay, so I'm ending
that
on
was a bit of a slam against me, but
I'm
it's okay.
sorry.
Me too.
We did have a long conversation about Star Trek last week, so
That's true.
So I am nerdy.
And now
I'm not that kind of nerdy. I'm not
Got it.
Doctor Who nerdy. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. That's
Send
fine.
all the hate mail to Vanessa at fuckyou.com.
Yeah!
Don't care. I've never watched Doctor Who. I'm a goddamn American.
That's right.
Well, I'm an American. Don't. This is my
You've minimized her American experience.
Sorry. I mean, you're from Wisconsin. You're barely American. You're practically
Mostly
Canadian.
Yeah.
Mostly.
So ending on an up note, because I feel like this has become my theme of like positive ghost encounters.
There we go.
George Washington saving people.
That's a good one.
That's
Happy
rad.
children playing in death because they couldn't play in life. So there's also the story of this Buddhist monk. So Buddhism is really popular in Japan. And
Did he set himself on fire?
No.
Self-immolate?
He did not in front of a tank. And so the Buddhists
I'm not following.
have long considered this place to be a sacred place,
Makes
even though
sense.
it's been sort of overtaken by evil spirits. They believe that like it's in the base of Mount Fuji, which is supposed to be very sacred for them. So there's a bunch of shrines and altars as you first enter the forest. They're trying to cleanse it. They're trying to make it a better place. They're trying to make it a safer,
They need a
happy
lot
place
of sage.
once more. So there are monks who walk through the forest trying to find people and like talk them out of committing suicide, or trying to find bodies and release their spirits and give them like whatever the Buddhist version of like consecration and last rites is, so that they aren't stuck there
Forever.
tormented
Being
in the
horrifying screaming ghosts.
in Japan's
Or
haunted forest of death
in faces and trees.
anymore. So this is the thing that happens. There are these groups of monks that have been doing it for decades. However, there's one monk in particular who wears orange robes, which is sort of an unusual thing for that region of Japan. He's an old man. There are sightings of him that go back to the 70s or the 60s. Oh, he's a ghost. Everyone describes him in the exact same way.
He's a ghost.
And he comes up to people in tents or hikers or whatever, and he tries to convince them not to kill themselves. Yeah. And the Buddhist monks who believe in reincarnation, they do not believe in ghosts, are just like, yep, he's our like ghost brother. And he's out there doing the same work that we do, trying to save people.
He's out there being a rad dude.
He's out there trying to help people.
Now,
like,
did he croak? Is the story that he croaked in the forest?
They
or?
don't know his origin. They just feel like he was just probably someone from the like 50s or 60s who was really devoted to helping people. And he just decided it was his life's work. And maybe he died in the forest because he like fell and twisted his ankle, got lost in a cavern, got turned away from the trail and couldn't find his way back. So he's stuck in the forest as well, but he's using his ghostiness to try and help people from getting stuck like him.
Wow.
Could you imagine be like, I'm about to kill myself, and then a ghost is like, yo, dude,
Yeah.
I'm dead.
But it's like an old man ghost. Like, hey, you don't want to do
like
that.
an old man
just-
Japanese ghost. So
just
funny
go die.
story about this old man Japanese ghost. Was super nice. He's trying to help people. Great.
I'm gonna name him Bill.
Bill the ghost.
Bill.
Bill the monk, Buddhist monk ghost.
Yeah.
So Bill is a Japanese monk. Bill only cares about Japanese people. Bill only helps Japanese people.
Oh, Bill's racist. Bill's racist.
Bill the racist monk.
There are multiple stories of people hiking.
He tells the
being
white people like, no,
by the
fucking kill
monk,
yourself.
and if like one of the people will be Japanese, or there'll be a group and there's a couple people Japanese, and he will tell them like he's there to help them and not the foreigners.
Oh, he's fucking racist. That's racist.
Yeah, Bill the Buddhist racist monk.
Get out of here, round eye.
He's like, yeah, round eye, you
Yeah.
go kill yourself.
Oh man.
Yeah, so apparently
rad.
he's trying to stop more ghosts from living in the Aokigahara, but only Japanese.
But
ghosts.
only Japanese.
Hell
So
yeah.
if you're Americans, you go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
We
well,
murder
yeah.
murder away. There's
guys-
self-murder away.
That's rad.
So that is the story of the most haunted forest in the world.
Yay.
The most haunted place in Japan.
That was brilliant.
The Japanese haunted forest of death.
Yes.
Now
with the
describe
racist
for
monks.
us this beer selection that you've
So
given
this
us.
beer that I have for you.
Can I wait? Hands up. Hands
Yeah.
up.
Melissa.
I've consumed
She has drank.
She drank the whole
98%
thing.
of this beer.
98% of a glass of beer. So
I'm
I would like to know
smidgen
your
drunk.
thoughts
I'm drunk.
on the beer. It's a pale beer. It's obviously Japanese beer.
I mean-
so how are you feeling about it?
I mean, it tastes like
Tastes like beer.
beer.
It's yellow fizzy water
It's
beer.
yellow fizzy water beer. It's
okay.
It's basically Japanese Bud Light.
Yeah.
Okay, so what this is, which is why I needed a moment to prepare, because I Googled, like, I was
Ghost
like looking up
forest beer.
Japanese beer and stuff, and then I was like, I wonder if there's some sort of like suicide beer or whatever. Apparently, college kids
Oh, shit.
do this thing called the beer suicide, where they'll take a Bud Light, a Miller Light, a Coors Light, and like a natural ice, and they pour them all together into one glass, like
And
a
make a-
soda suicide, only they make it out of cheap beer.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So I have made you a Japanese suicide beer.
Fuck yeah!
With like an Ichiban, a Sapporo, and an Asahi. So it
Shitty
is
Japanese
three
beer.
blonde, shitty Japanese beers that I bought 40s of.
Yes.
And then I poured them in equal portions into glasses, and I made us a Japanese beer suicide for my Japanese suicide forest
Oh,
story.
fucking
I am
Singleton wins
about the
again.
fucking
you know what?
synergy
God
of
damn
my
it.
story.
This is a sad thing because Melissa knew immediately that she'd lost.
I knew.
And she has. Because
God damn it.
this is not my favorite beer to drink,
No,
but
but
the
whole
story
so good.
is good.
And then
And the
then I
Japanese
made
death forest is banging.
Haunted
And
Forest of Death.
I love racist monk ghosts.
Who doesn't?
This,
I mean,
doesn't?
who doesn't?
this whole thing.
Plus the beer suicide, which I honestly
Yeah.
thought that like when I made them before we turned the podcast back on, I was like, I've not tried this before. This might be terrible.
Yeah, here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
sure. It's when
It's
I
actually
decided
not the
true
worst.
story.
They
They all kind of taste the same. 'Cause
Thank you. I was about to
just
say.
tastes like Japanese Bud Light, man.
The
Yeah.
thing is, when you told me the story, I'm like, I feel like Asahi, Sapporo, and Ichiban all taste the fucking same.
So how
you
would we
just
know the
pour
difference?
Oh,
Three
you
of the
did
same-
because you're drinking all of them. You're drinking all of them. I will say, I did go classy, and I bought the glass 40s as opposed
no,
to
why
the
did you
like
do
pop
that?
top 40s because
No.
those did exist
You
at
do
the Bev Mo.
pop top. Look, if you're gonna do college kid,
Look,
you
don't
gotta
you can't
do-
minimize what she's done
No,
here. You
I am
lost.
because I'm trying to help myself.
You
No,
lost,
I came
and you have to accept it.
I came so strong this week, though.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Singleton came
with
correct.
How
She's
everything
fucking prepared.
I came fucking correct.
She prepared.
Singleton's
she like,
throwing down.
Wow.
God.
And it's not bad.
I mean, it
It's
tastes
not
like
bad.
Bud Light.
It's not a good beer. I bought 3 40s. I spent $7.
Now
That's
you
amazing.
bought 2 large format bottles, and
Yeah.
how much did you spend?
More than $7.
I'm guaranteeing it.
I'd have to look at my receipt. Hold on.
She has no recollection. She's gonna go find it for us.
And by that, Bob means how much did we spend?
Yeah.
We have a joint checking account.
No, she bought it with it. This came out of her expense account.
She
so.
bought it with her own money that she worked for
No,
herself.
what? 19 bucks for $2 for 2 bottles.
So I spent $12 less than you, and I fucking won.
You're in my apartment. Get out.
2-1. I live
Get
here
out.
now. We've already established I live here now.
Yeah. So Vanessa comes over and we feed her dinner
Yeah.
or lunch.
They make me dinner.
She came over, we fed her, and then she embarrassed my wife on
true.
the
I did.
international radio.
I did. However, in
like-
keeping with our campfire theme, I did bring 2/3 of the ingredients of s'mores.
I brought a third.
That's true.
I bought
and Campfire beer,
yeah.
which is so appropriate, and it should have won. Fuck.
I know. I got nervous. I was like, you came real strong this week, but
Yeah.
I was just like, it came
You came more
together so
correct.
well. I will say, if this beer had tasted like horse piss, it would have been rough. But
Here's the thing: even if it tastes like horse piss, you still would have won because it's like the suicide thing.
Now I'm gonna warn you. This is edging up next to horse piss. It's not
I mean,
great.
it's not very good.
It tastes like a Sapporo or like an Asahi or like a
Ichiban.
I can't tell the difference.
But here's the thing:
because it's all together right now.
But then you call it the suicide, and it's the fucking God.
Yeah, it was well constructed.
I made you a Japanese suicide for my Japanese suicide story.
I'm gonna
It's
go
pretty powerful.
commit suicide now because
No, don't do it.
fuck.
Think of the tax write-off.
Yeah, no, think about that.
Is that a tax rate?
I don't know. I love you, Melly. Don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
No, because then I could
guys,
be
if
the
you're thinking about
ghost.
committing suicide, get help. There's a number you can call
There's a
if
number
you're
you
in
can call
Japan.
in
It's
Japan.
listed right outside the Aokigahara.
I'm
But
sure
just so
there's
you
a
know,
number in the United
Bill the
States.
monk is not going to help you in
Bill,
this case.
the racist monk, will, unless you're Japanese.
Yep.
But look, if
Japanese.
Yep.
but look, if
Japanese.
Yep.
but look, if
Japanese.
Yep.